Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Naz. Please pardon the face mask. I'm currently getting over an illness and I don't want to get my roommate sick. Anyways, I am so excited to finally watch the new Grand Tour special. It's here, guys. The new Grand Tour special, Euro Crash. Alright, so first of all, if you haven't seen my previous video of the last Grand Tour special, a Scandi Flick video up here for you guys, go ahead and click on that one first. I had a great time filming that video and reacting to it, where they had those 3 rally cars, and of course James had that huge accident in the Mitsubishi Evo. And they also attached sheds to the back of their cars and rolled them down hills, and Jeremy's caught on fire, and just absolute mayhem and craziness there at the end, where they had to save James a couple of times. So whenever it comes to new Grand Tour specials, I'm one of those weirdos where I will just know whatever date it comes out on and not watch any trailers. So if you're watching this, you probably already know more about the episode than I do. All I know so far is that they're somewhere in, I think, Central Europe, as shown in the picture here. It looks like Central Europe or maybe Eastern Europe. And they also have 3 very distinct looking cars. I believe Richard has some sort of pickup truck. James has a small old school type vehicle. And Jeremy had this fancy classical type muscle car. I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna find out while watching this new show. So everything's gonna be brand new to me. Like I said, I've not seen any of the trailers. So I'm very excited to sit down and watch this episode with you guys. So sit back and relax, and let's get to it. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Water. Air.
The reason we're doing a road trip that no one's ever thought of doing before is, in these times, it's very difficult to do a road trip that someone has thought of doing before.
Mozambique, Syria, Iraq, Burma, Ukraine, Russia.
Love those specials, guys.
You couldn't go back to any of them.
Those are classics.
For different reasons, Argentina.
No, or Turkey.
Why can't we go to Turkey?
We're banned.
Yes, but it's not just.
Did they have painted nails?
Before.
Then we said, let's follow in the footsteps.
They do. It's
Can't. Too much terrorism. We wanted to go from Bangladesh
yeah, pink nails.
to Mount Everest. Can't. We are about to undertake a 1,400-mile drive from Gdansk, which is right up here on the Baltic there, and then we go all the way down here to Bled in Slovenia.
Slovenia.
No one's done that ever. Gdansk to Bled.
All right, I'm excited. So they're going for a very unique type of trip that no one's ever done before. So we'll see how this one turns out. Can I just say, I missed watching Clarkson, Hammond, and May together, because they're all doing like their own separate things. Richard has his YouTube channel, James has his cooking show, and I know Clarkson has a farm show, which I've not seen yet. I will though, I will.
A pickup truck with a folding roof. Yeah, I know. Unique. Nobody's ever done this. At this point, Cruella de Vil arrived.
Whoa. That's excessive. I mean, of course it's Jeremy, but I mean, that's pretty excessive. It's like 30 feet long.
Is the most inappropriate road trip car ever made.
I agree.
I give you the Mitsuoka Lassaid.
Yeah, what Mr. Mitsuoka did was he took acid, and this resulted. Wait, what?
The roof goes
In there. Yeah.
so it's not really a very good pickup truck.
It's not very good as a pickup truck, but it's very bad as a sports car. Oh yes, about 2 tons. We then speculated on what James.
Okay, what's James brought?
I have no clue what that is.
I have no clue what that is.
That's a good question.
How far away is
What is it? Genuinely, I don't know what that is.
idea.
It's
You
tiny.
just come from the circus.
What is it, James? I mean, I think it says Crosley on it, but
This car is only 4 feet wide, because it has to go through the door of a shop.
Oh.
I have produced larger and more attractive bogies. What is more?
It's a 4-cylinder 724cc engine developing 26.5 horsepower.
No, hold on.
I love how James is so matter of fact with things, even if they're unremarkable.
What did you pay?
£11,000.
£11,000 for that?
I bought it when I was drunk.
You wet.
So hold on, how much was this?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, exactly my point.
How much?
It was £18,500.
What? It's a convertible pickup truck.
I know.
It's like a speed hump on a runway.
That's
I'm gonna start using that.
You don't suppose?
Oh, the fourth car.
I do suppose.
The emergency car. What have they brought? What have they brought, guys?
To be honest, that's even more
Purple?
appropriate than any of our cars, because that's designed to do a quarter of a mile, isn't it?
That is our hot rod, isn't it?
Look. That is a doom, isn't it? That is the end.
Would you drive a car that says titties and beer on the side? Really wouldn't.
That reminds me of whenever they brought the fourth motorcycle painted in American flags in Vietnam. It kind of reminds me of that. It's so inappropriate.
Port exit. Right.
Comment if you agree.
Early beginning now. From Gdansk to Bled.
I've had a crash.
What? I missed it. What happened?
20 feet.
What is this?
You've broken his barrier. Broken his barrier.
Oh, he hit the...
Called the police.
Call the police.
Naturally, we thought it best to stop her before the 5-0 arrived.
That car's gonna break down. I'm calling it.
Is now able
Having helped our colleague through an extremely narrow gap.
I reckon you're okay, you're alright, you're alright.
Very funny. Keep it up.
Go on, you're gonna do it. Oh, we did it!
We headed out of town.
It reminds me of that one Top Gear episode where Richard hit... I think he was driving a Ferrari. He hit the side of the Ferrari and then they had to help him out and like make fun of him. You guys remember that episode?
James Ray, are you flat out?
Yes, 38 miles an hour.
38?
maybe imagine what it's like in the Crossley.
Do you know, I don't think I actually can.
Oh, it's so pathetic. Why would he choose this?
This is madness.
I have a suspicion he chose a slow car, so what happened in the previous episode doesn't happen again, where he had that high-speed crash against the wall. That's my suspicion. I could be wrong.
What the tour guides say. Formula Eastern saw teams from Soviet bloc countries race against each other. With a lot of passion and bravery, but very few resources.
I didn't know about this.
Power came from and a set of tyres had to last the whole season.
No.
The Polish team was so hard up that motorsport fan and fellow Pole Pope John Paul II had to buy their helmets.
That's actually quite interesting. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Very interesting.
All they had was a fuzzy photograph taken in 1968 at a European racetrack, of a European racing car. So it's got a bit like that. I want one of those. Yeah, I want one of those. I won't be able to do it.
Oh, come on, you'll miss out on that day out.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Be less fat. It's quite easy.
Obesity is an illness.
Yeah, it's a big fat illness though, isn't it? Big fat heavy illness. It's frustrating because you're so ready to do things, you're absolutely primed and you can't do them because you're so fat.
There's shots right now.
I'm sorry. They are going to have to dismantle the car around
Oh
you.
my god.
We're peeling it off him like a diving suit. It would have been easy just to paint a race car on him and then wipe it off. Thank you.
Jeremy.
Just pop your dignity in the workshop. You can go and pick it up.
I've decided to appoint myself as team manager.
Of course.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm Toto Wolff, basically.
Okay.
Total
Yes, I tell you
Wolf
what is slightly worrying.
of Mercedes
James May, yeah.
Formula One
2
fame.
minutes. 2 minutes.
Here he comes! 2:22. Oh shit! Wait, how do I make the stopwatch? How do you stop it?
As the drivers prepared for the off, I gave Hammond some final advice on strategy.
Will he crash in this episode? Good start. Get that podium. Get a podium, Hammond. Will he get a podium?
What if he's in third or fifth next time he comes out?
Ah, well, it's a good point, you see. Do a question mark there.
Oh no. Oh.
Hammond continued on his merry way.
What is it, gas?
Only unaware his leaking car had turned the track into a
Of course, only with Hammond. Oh my god, is that Charles Leclerc? Oh no, it's Richard Hammond. This is... Okay, that's kind of cute, but also so inappropriate. For an ambulance.
Oh, come on. Hang on. I was so shattered, I went straight to bed.
Looks like it. He even closed his door. Oh, he's sweating in the back.
3, 2, bloody hell, that wasn't difficult. Wait, other way. Back to that. Oh, my back. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my back. Oh, my fingers.
The next morning, James was displeased to find his car was tucked hard against the wall in the hotel's restaurant.
Oh, Christ, that's not a wasp. Now, what is that? It's absolutely gigantic. Get out! Get out from here! It's enormous! That's incredibly big! Get out!
Oh my goodness.
It's completely died. What a piece of old crap.
He's gonna have to drive the titties and beer car, isn't he?
We were wandering around the actual site where, in World War II, 80 prisoners dug a 110-meter escape tunnel. It's a story that was immortalized in one of the greatest films ever made, The Great Escape.
So they have a sports pitch, swimming pool.
Library.
Library?
Theatre.
What?
Theatre. Are you quite sure there wasn't people trying to tunnel in?
Ah, called it. Titties and beer.
After a long drive, we eventually arrived in Krakow.
Very pretty. Very pretty. That's just so inappropriate.
Face because I'm in deep thought.
But I was hoping that our popularity had faded. Sadly, however,
He's so embarrassed.
Can we have 3 tickets?
Yeah, sure.
There we are. Lovely.
Pushing out a whopper.
We moved into what we assumed was a motoring area.
Is it you?
No.
It was Sylvester Stallone, that was you.
Oh,
Oh, for heaven's sake. Yeah. Nigel Mansell. Hello, is it?
He has a moustache that matches his eyebrows. It is.
Why would you have Nigel Mansell? Why not Lewis Hamilton? Lando Norris?
Not.
George Finney? Russell? I'm really annoyed about this. Do the Birmingham accent, you're from London.
Should we sit down? I like that. I've had enough of this. It's going to get drive about outside. Thanks for bringing me with you, lad.
Ready? Okay.
Goodness.
Lovely.
Where are we going? This way?
We're across the road, across the road.
Across the road.
Lovely.
And then waited for their reaction to what I'd done.
What is it? He put chandeliers on it.
Oh God, you worked my horn into my indicator, you bastard!
Soon we were on the motorway, heading for our next country, Slovakia.
I'm either in an offensive hot rod with titties beer written on the side, or I'm holding everybody up in the crossley. I've never screwed up a film suit like I have this one.
It's not quite as offensive as what they wrote whenever they were in Alabama, I think, in the US, whenever they had that pickup truck and the old Chrysler or something, Cadillac. Not as bad as that, whenever they got ran out of that town by those rednecks, but it's still pretty bad.
3, 2, 1, jedna!
They're off.
And they are off. Can James beat the man? Come on!
Oh.
No, you cannot!
No, he hasn't. That's not the confidence boost we wanted it to be, is it?
That night, to thank them for the drag race, I did some more things to their cars,
More things.
which became apparent first thing the next morning.
Ah, nice. Very funny. Dalmatians. That's hilarious, actually.
To be honest, I'm not going to tell James May this, but I quite like his work. He was a good crew, I had a vibe.
Whoa. It's a plane car?
It's flying.
It certainly is.
I've never actually seen that.
See Jeremy's face? Shocked.
That car has landed.
Very rarely am I lost for words, but I'm lost for words. You are going to race in turn round the track I've set up. The winner is the one who is shot the least amount of times.
What? Shot.
Shot.
Shot with what? Archers will be shooting at you whilst riding horses.
How are they going to be
So
protected?
we'll be moving as the targets,
Yeah.
but they'll be moving themselves on
Yes.
horses.
Yeah.
In 3,
2, 1, begin!
James's tactic was to go slowly because he had no choice.
Here comes the horseman.
Oh, I heard that. And then James May has become a porcupine. Look, he's making dust. He's hoping he's going to be invisible in his own dust cloud.
oh my God, that's my smell! Jake Clarkson, are you ready?
Yeah, not happy, but ready.
Now look what you've done! And as the sun was setting, we finally reached our destination. Oh, my lord.
Very pretty. Very, very pretty.
Sadly, Captain Slowly didn't arrive until after it had gone dark.
Oh, that is next level!
That is really... Oh, he's done me.
What?
He's done me as well.
Well, where's he bloody put them?
Is it in the lake? Yep, it's in the lake.
My God. Don't take on hold of the angle. Come on. Sorry, mate. Got me down.
Mr. Willman's plane was not what I was expecting.
Big.
Jesus.
Very big.
Clearly, it was already taxiing.
Are they gonna have to drive on the plane while it's moving? Like Fast and Furious style? There you go. Ooh, DRS. Gone, gone, gone.
We've just driven onto an aeroplane that just landed.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Somebody's going to be cross.
Yeah.
They put Nigel Mansell in the credits, that's funny. Alright guys, that was the Grand Tour Euro Crash and just my immediate thoughts from the episode. It's definitely not my favorite episode. I think it's pretty, for lack of a better term, it's kind of vanilla. It definitely had its moments where I was laughing, obviously, as you can tell from my reactions, but a lot of the segments were okay. They weren't as interesting and as funny as, like, say, Scandi Flick. I enjoyed that one a lot more over this one. This one is definitely not my favorite of their specials that they've done so far. There's a lot of other specials that they've done that are definitely above this one. This one, again, they had its moments, but it's not my favorite of their specials. The things I did like about this episode were the pranks that they pulled on each other. Those were always funny. Whenever they were moving James's car and then he had to find out where it was and they were in shops, that was really funny. Whenever they were at the Formula One, the Soviet Formula One location, and Jeremy couldn't fit in that car, so Richard was taking shots at, you know, Jeremy being fat. That was really funny. They also had some interesting history lessons about learning the events of what happened at the war camp during World War II, I believe, where prisoners had to tunnel their way out of that prison, and that was really interesting, and you could tell the presenters were actually really interested in learning about the history. It's quite amazing. And I also really liked the wax museum sequence where they were just having fun and making fun of all of the some of them were really badly made, and they were really funny. And the ending was pretty cool too, where they simulated the ending of Fast and Furious 6, where they all had to get on the big airplane at the very end. Very fun, very cool sequence. The parts that I didn't like as much, like I said, some of the sequences and some of their gags went on a little bit too long, were a little bit repetitive. You know, some of the bits I found a little bit boring. I was kind of tuning out in some spots. Like whenever they were at that one location where they had a bunch of archers. I didn't really find that so very interesting, unfortunately. And I also didn't like how for most of the episode, it was just James by himself and not with Jeremy and Richard. I kind of wanted them to interact a lot more, and I realized that was because of the car that James had picked. had a lot of problems, and yeah, I would have just liked to have seen them all together, because I think that would have been more interesting and a lot more funny. To sum up my thoughts on this episode of the Grand Tour, it was very okay. It was okay. I wouldn't be watching this one anytime soon if I was to rewatch the Grand Tour episodes. In terms of their specials, this is definitely one of the ones that are on the bottom for me. It was okay, but just not as funny, unfortunately, and not as quite as interesting as, say, like the Scandi Flick or whenever they went to the deserts in Africa. Those specials are a lot more memorable to me over this one, so I won't be rewatching this one anytime soon, but I thought it was okay. If I was to give this episode a grade, I'd give it probably a C+. So not terrible, but not one of my favorites. Alright guys, that'll do it for today's episode, for today's reaction. If you like watching the reaction and hanging out with me, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I do read the comments. If this video gets a lot of views, I may react to more of their solo projects, like James's Cooking, or Jeremy's Farm, or Richard's his YouTube channel with Drive Tribe. So if you like this video, go ahead and watch it a lot of times and send it to your friends, so I know that you guys want to see more content like this where I react to whatever the Grand Tour Trio is up to now. So once again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.